Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, it's Weave. Today we are technically back on Epic 7, we are on the official store page, I guess. Today we are to react kinda like to the new balance patch, that's supposed to come on the 29th. We can see already here, we got Straze, kinda surprising 195 to get buffed. We got Ravi afterward, K1. I mean, yeah, okay. Can see why those would get buffed, but especially Ravi right now. Then we got Aria. Aria is strong. Why? I hope they are not nerfing her or anything outside of physical nerf, obviously. But then we got Taeyu. I mean, Taeyu did need a buff, so that's alright. Hopefully they don't crack him too much, because we know how easily works sometimes. They say that they want to avoid making other big buff units that destroy the meta, but it can. The way of buffing unit is really weird. But yes. Then we got Ruana. Ruana doesn't really need a buff. I mean, she's fine for what she's supposed to do. Then we got, after Ruana, we got Blaze Dingo on Kawana. Blaze Dingo was technically fine, but I guess a buff is always nice for those kind of units. On Kawana is pretty shit, let's be honest. No one used Kawana before, except some troll. I think the problem with her is that she needs like all fire units in her team to work. But yeah, you can see that's a pretty weird roster of buffed units. And we got Asol as a 3-star, which is nice. He's pretty good, Asol. So I hope her buff can make her great, because it's a new 3-star, so she's not going to get an SC anytime soon, so a buff can make her shine. And then for the artifact, we got Magic for Friends, so Mercedes exclusive artifacts, alright. Don't know what they're buffing on it, I hope it's not too OP, because the artifact is already pretty good. And then we got Unfading Memories, which is the unlimited artifacts. I think it's limited, but it's on banner, so I assume it is. It was a pretty bad artifact. It was like a shitty road, if I remember correctly. But yeah, let's go right away on to Straze buff. But before that, remember to be like DBT on the Straze, like and subscribe button. So what did they change for Straze? It's actually quite a minor buff. Honestly, kinda sad that the only Moonfight gets such a bad buff. Well, it's not bad. So what happened is that now on his skill tree he can't be counter attack, which is nice because Belian and stuff like that was kinda annoying to counter and then strip his invisibility. And the penetration rate is easier to do, so it will be easier to 100% pen def an El Ravi, for example, because those are kind of units that have still a bit of attack, so sometimes you cannot 100% defense penetrates on them, which could cost you the game, especially on a proof El Ravi. This could kill you, but yeah, so it's easier now. Then we get Ravi buff. You can see now she starts the battle with 40 fighting spirit, which means she will get access to her C3 way faster, which is nice. And you can see they also made their effectiveness buff the same as their attack buff on their passive, so now it's both 15%, before it was 15% attack and 10% effectiveness, which is nice. It's 5 stacks, so technically it's 5 times 5, so it's 25 effectiveness more, so that's nice. And you can see now skill 2 does less damage, but it penetrates AoE defense by 50%, which skill 2 is really strong, so maybe. Only problem I see with Ravi is that she's always compared to her ML version, so we'll see if that gets her out of her weaker version of Ravi, if we can say it like that. And then in addition they also buffed EE. This removes the one that was putting a burn and changed it for 70% chance to anti-buff for 1 turn enemy when using the skill 1, which is nice, I guess. The burn was really low chance, so it was almost something that didn't matter. Anti-buff is a strong buff on the skill 1, even if it's 1 turn. It can be really strong, especially if you're fighting like FCC or stuff like that. The anti-buff can help removing the kill. Then we got K1, which is kinda sad for K1. His buff doesn't really help all types of K1. His buff basically makes him a better counter K1. What they did is that basically now the skill 1 will always be an AoE, except if you don't have a buff, obviously, and if you do dual attack. So no, even with counter is going to AoE. That's going to be really scary, especially if you're using a skill leave. No, counter K1 is going to be really scary. And what they did for this skill 3 is they removed the things that was making the AoE on the skill 1. So they added it right into the skill 1 description. And they added into skill 2 increased evasion as well as immortality. It can help. It won't help against things like Celidias or stuff like that, but it can help stopping strips from certain units that have to hit him. So yeah, no, he's still weak to Celidias and AOL that would strip him anyway, because yeah. But I mean, no, I think counter K1 with a lot of ER is going to be a lot stronger. But yeah, as I said, K1 has 129 base speed and is not a good speed unit. That's kinda sad for him. Like you see Acid, you see Luan, they all have speed scaling in some sort. So yeah, that's kinda sad that he still doesn't have speed scaling. Remember that K1 only scale of his lost HP on attack, obviously. Then we get an Aria buff, which is kinda surprising, I'll be honest. Aria is already pretty strong. I guess it's to compensate for the loss of air nerf, air physical nerf, I guess. But yeah, so they buffed their skill 1 to do more damage, and now when you counter, you have 20% more chance to decrease the chance. I mean, skill 1 was already hitting pretty hard. So actually, thanks God, skill 1 does two enemy hit, because if it was only one, you would be able to put pen set on that. They remove the crit damage when you lose HP, but instead they just overall buffed their damage, and they even gave barrier into skill 3, which is nice, I guess, but I mean, it makes her even more weaker to DGB on Obsidian, but I guess it's only 2 units in the game that right now really prioritize onto barrier destruction, so I guess it's still fine. And then right after we got everyone's favorite fire unit. Oh wait, he's ice. Oh, never mind. Still don't understand why he's iced. Not gonna lie, everything in this kit screams fire, but anyway. Attacks all enemy, now he dispels the all buff instead of 2, and increases himself speed as well as attack into his skill 3. And now the skill 3 also ignores the air, so when you are on edge, but it's very strong too, because now you're guaranteed to, because the reset of cooldown is on the highest attack unit, so now you're guaranteed to reset Hwayong. It was what Taeyu was supposed to do before, but before he could get resisted, so yeah. But no, so he's guaranteed to reset Hwayong, and I think he's guaranteed to strip everything now too. I don't think the ignore the eye only applies to the resets. I hope, or else it's still dumb. But yeah, so it's kind of a nice buff for Taeyu, especially the speed buff. The speed buff is actually interesting because it will help him take the turn, even though I think his skill 2, is it his skill 2 that gives him the CR pack, or is it his artifact? I don't remember exactly how Taeyu works, I don't have him, but yeah. So yeah, right after we got Ruana. Ruana, which is mostly skill 3. No, skill 3 gives a barrier as well as a revive. The barrier strength is proportional to max HP, so it could be a pretty big barrier, since I mean most people only build Ruana to be tanky and have nothing else, maybe some ER, but yeah. And so that was the last Nat 5 of this balance patch. Then we're going to go over Blaze Lingo. His skill 2 now does an AoE defense break with 75% health. It's not 100, but still pretty decent. Remember that his skill 2 has a chance to proc into his skill 1, so a skill 2 into a defense break skill 1 on a unit, I think even if it's like the tankiest LRV with proof, this shit will die. Especially since he gives himself Gab with his skill 3. If you soulbound Gab with his skill 3, you get an additional turn, so is it an additional turn or is it just a CR perk? I think it's an additional turn straight away. So yeah, he's going to be very strong. The only thing is that he's kinda slow. well, he's a Soul Weaver, I guess, that's why. But yeah, it's still going to be pretty decent unit. Don't use Blazing particularly, but I guess I saw some people using it, and his damage is pretty crazy, so that should help a bit. Then we go over Kawana. Her buff is that no, they remove the condition to have all fire elemental unit to get the skill null and stuff like that. No, it's just that if you have a fire unit in your team, it's a skill null. I mean, that's still pretty bad, I'll be honest, but I guess it's a buff. But like, unit like FCC and AOL can just put skill null, whatever. There's no really condition. Well, AOL is that you need to get AOE to have the skill null, but yeah, it's still pretty bad, I guess. And you have a CR push on, I think it's a skill tree, that's 3% stun. That's pretty nice. You can have a CR push, but yet again, it's just a CR push for fire units, and it's a 20% buff. She's not the fastest unit in the game, she's only 123 base speed, if I remember correctly, so yeah, man, I think they could have just removed the condition, just put it as increased combat readiness of 20%. Yeah, and it would still not have been that crazy, I guess. Well, maybe actually, now that I think about it, it would be maybe the fastest CR push then. But yeah, I would say just remove the fire elemental allies condition, and it would be very soon. Well, you can still maybe do some combo. I don't see any particularly red fire unit to use, but yeah. People will find some combo to use, I guess, with people that like Kawana, which is not my case, but yeah. Anyway, now we go over the only Moonlight of this list, Moonlight Twister, I mean. So we got Assault, which they remove that you need to use it on your turn, so now that means that even with counter you can have the fixed damage on counter or dual attack. But they will decrease a bit the healing, which I guess is fair. You have a bit more damage for a bit less healing, okay. Then you get the skill 2, it's kinda like Pilis, he reduces the damage suffered by counter attack, which is nice. And then when you can't stack up with Pilis, so yeah, you just said it right here. Then when an ally gets counter attack, you get a CR puck by 25%, which is really nice for units that don't have a lot of speed. But it's a nerf because you can see on the left that it was 30% before, but now that the fixed damage would be increased by 1000 up to 4 times, so you can go over to 4500 fixed damage per hit, which is always crazy. But before it was only applied to the skill 1, now it's also applied to the skill 3, and remember that the skill 3 is an AoE, so you can easily have an AoE that do over 5k damage. And now you'll see skill 3, so the skill 3 also applies 500 like the skill 1, plus the 4000 that the passive will add. It now doesn't grant a speed buff, it's now just a defense buff on the barrier. The barrier is percent to HP, which is nice because I guess on air you will just build their HP, speed on ER. I guess that's all you need on air, because the damage will mostly come from the fixed damage. And after suffering a counter attack, decrease skill cooldown by 1 turn. So you need to suffer the counter attack, so you want to use her against units that are pretty much guaranteed to counter. So unit like Violet and stuff like that, that's kinda interesting. Belian counters a lot, so Shu, technically wherever you hit, she has a skill to counter you, so she has Elbris on counter in her, so yeah. But yeah, so the skill tree is definitely nice now. They increase the cooldown by 1 turn, decrease the damage, which decrease the damage because now there is a fixed damage, which will add crazy ton of damage, 4500 at max, as I said. And you only need 4 counter. 4 counter can happen really quickly in a match, especially if you're fighting something that's guaranteed to counter, as I said, like Violet that miss. And the increase in cooldown is not really a problem because yeah, you just get counter once and it's a reduction of cooldown. So yeah, definitely, I think Assault got one of the best buff right here, and since Legion is not getting nice, it's a nice buff. Then we go over to the artifact. We got Magic for Friend, which isn't really that much of a buff. You can see it's 30% crit damage reduce. It's 30% instead of 25, so it's 5% buff. But it's more of a a bug fix, I would say. I don't know if we can call it a bug fix. You can see it under. It says activated upon death. No, it says will not activate upon death. So what they say under it about that is that before the skill, you know that Machine for Fun can proc a counter that proc Mercedes skill Q. Before this thing could proc when you kill Mercedes, so that means it will go on to cooldown, and she wouldn't do it because she's dead, so she can't S2 when she's dead. So even when she arrives after, she doesn't do it. So now it won't do that anymore. So now the skill won't be wasted. That's pretty much what it means. Because before, as I said, you can kill Mercedes, she will proc Magic for Friend at this moment, and that means that she will never use Magic for Friend until the cooldown is back, which is 2 turns. Usually a Mercedes doesn't last 2 turns unless it's a nice steel one or something like that. And then we got Diane artifact, which kind of disappointing. I don't know if it's limited, as I said, it's on Diane banner, so I assume it's limited, but I don't know. I don't have it, so and I don't think I'll be buying it when they see the buff because it's an increase in 25% here, which I guess is nice, it's always that. But then look, heals all the allies by 5 to 10% after using another attack skill. That artifact clearly makes us things like Rod of Malaise. I think Rod is still better in my opinion, even if Rod is single target, yeah, it's all allies. Rod at plus 30 is 24 heal for an ally, yeah, it's 10% for all allies. It's kinda like an Elena skill 2 heal, it's almost nothing. I mean, it can save you, I guess, but and it doesn't have a cooldown, so on the end it can be pretty strong because he spams skill 2 into skill 2, and the little bit of ER can be useful on her, I guess. But I still don't see it particularly be that strong, honestly. But yeah. That's it for this balance patch. Remember that this balance patch will only be applied on the 29th of September, so we still have a bit of time to prepare the units. But yeah, I'll personally be using some of them with the Blessing of Growth. I think I have a Ravi 6 star, but he's not skilled up or anything, maybe not even Max Awoken. My Karen is definitely build, from the time he was good, so it will be easy to build him. Karen is Straze is always build. Aria, I'll get her into the ticket from the event, so I'll be able to get her. Teiyu, I don't have her. Don't have him. Sorry. Ruana, I mean, it's a healer. I'll use her sometime when they see sad or stuff like that. So I guess we'll see her buff sometime, but I won't do a dedicated video for Ruana. And then Blessdigo, Assault. I think I'll do Assault for sure with the Blessing of Growth. Blessdigo maybe. Kaona I won't, because I mean Kaona doesn't seem particularly good. And then for the artifact buff, well, Magic for Friend, just nothing really important, and Unfading Memory doesn't seem that good. Honestly, I think they kinda miss the mark with this balance patch. There is still units that needed way more buffs than Straze or Aria. Kaon, it's kinda sad that they didn't give him speed scaling, as I said. Ruana is okay, he didn't need one. Ravi kinda needed one, Teiyu same. But yeah, I think like there's way more units that are way worse in the meta that could need a buff than Straze or Aria. Yet they still buff those. I don't know why, but yeah. I would say I will give this patch 5 out of 10. Just because it has some nice buff, Assault, Teiyu and stuff like that, but it missed the mark on some of the units. And it could have been a better choice of unit, let's be honest. Anyway, hope you guys liked it. Bye.
Girl, I told we never took a night off, saw me cold.